A couple quick comments. I moved here in 1983, and the Arts was the repertory theater, and my wife and I, we were ushers, because that's the only way we could actually participate, was we ushered all the programs, and that was culture in Charlotte, North Carolina. I remember I was here in the late 1980s and early 1990s, and some of my former colleagues, because I practiced law with a law firm, and I was a very young partner. And you learned how things happen in Charlotte, because somebody knocked on our firm's door and said, we need for you to contribute to the Blumenthal Performing Arts Center. And then I was told what was coming out of my pocket in my partner draw the next month. And I was like, got a wife and two kids, how am I going to do this? And I look back on that and I think, wow, what if that hadn't happened? And what if I hadn't been asked, invited, squeezed a little bit, to do that? And I think, and one thing we should all do is just for a minute celebrate what we have in the Blumenthal Performing Arts and the people like Tom Gabbert who are here to run it. So please just join me in a big round of applause to appreciate and celebrate what we have. Thanks, Tom. I tell Tom that every time I talk to him, I leave smarter than when I started. And it's true. It's true for all the people in the arts that we can be around and be with. And it's why I think we should all listen to Ben. Ben, you said it so eloquently, and thank you for that. I will acknowledge I'm from a neighboring town where you grew up. I'm from Thomasville, which is a suburb of High Point. He may have been the furniture capital of the world, but we were the chair city. So just three more quick points. Investments, people, and our economy. So our investments as a company, I like to take newcomers to the bank. A lot of times people who've moved from other parts of the country, or we've moved them here, and I take them down Tryon Street. And I say, we've been apart. We haven't been the only institution, but it's Bank of America night, so I'll be proud of my company. In addition to the Blumenthal and the Levine Arts Campus, which you've heard about, the McCall Center, the donation where the ballet is today was land donated by us. $10 million to Thrive. And if you don't know what Thrive is, Tom and I'll educate you. It's a $40 million capital raise to help the arts groups get through this tough period of time. Multiple opportunities to help the symphony along. Imaginon is something we're very proud of. But underlying all these themes is a sense of access. And it's also a sense of democratization of the arts. A couple things we do on the national level. We do Museums on Us, selected museums in the first weekend of the month. This is the part where it's shameless. You got to be a Bank of America card holder, but if you are, it'll get you in free. Another thing we do, which actually next week we'll have an announcement out of New York of arts restoration. We've even done things like help restore copies of the Magna Carta and other places around the world. Again, with the theme of democratizing what we do. Second, our people. We have probably 100 executives in our company in Charlotte, who are members of boards of directors of our nonprofit community and probably every significant arts organization. And I always tell people, if you come to me and ask me for money, you're missing the boat if you don't ask for my people too. And then third, Ben said it, he gave you all the stats. It's about our economy, and he gave you the stats of numbers of jobs and investments, et cetera. But let me put this thread in your heads. We are in competition constantly with other cities for corporate headquarters where we can all generate more opportunity, more wealth together. And CEOs and companies and C-suite folks don't want to really come to a company or a place that doesn't have the richness of the arts. One last personal story, and I promise I'm going to let you guys go home. A number of years ago, I had a colleague, and she was like my angel who protected me and taught me how to do things that I didn't know how to do in becoming an executive. And we were very close, and she walked in my office one day and she said, "I'm leaving." I went, "Ugh, that's tough, Mary. Why are you doing that?" She said, "Well, I'm really ready to go do something else professionally, but I also want to live in a city that has a richer arts culture." Now that was before we had this, and we had Tom, and we had all the richness that we have around here, but that's always stuck with me. She wanted to go to a real city. I think we're a real city, and I hope you will help us figure out how to keep it that way. So the economy and competition. Ben gave you the plug for in a month, we'll all face a decision in the voting booth. That decision will be made by about 170,000 voters in Mecklenburg County, because that's all that we think will actually vote. So we need for you to vote. We need for you to take a friend to vote. And the last thing I'll say, and I know there are probably some people in here, I saw George Dunlap a little bit early. I don't know if George is here or not. But if you had been with Tom Gabbard and me and other arts leaders listening to the political dialogue and debate of whether or not we even put that on the ballot, the most eloquent people were not the Charles Bowmans of the world. And I think Tom will nod affirmation to this. They were the kids. They were the young people. They were the 16-year-olds and the 17-year-olds. And they were the writers and the dancers and the singers and the female scientists. That's why you need to vote for a sales tax referendum that will sustain our arts programs consistently well into the future. I'm honored to accept this on behalf of a lot of people who've come before me, colleagues who are working at it today, and I'm humbled by all of you folks being here to listen to this, but we have something in this city that's special. Let's keep it that way.
Thank you all for being here with us tonight.